Are you tired of being tired? Do you find yourself lying in bed at night, your body exhausted but your mind racing like a runaway train? Maybe you fall asleep easily enough, but then you're wide awake at 2 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, wondering why rest feels so elusive when you need it most. If you're nodding along, you're not alone. Millions of seniors struggle with sleep that doesn't refresh, nights that stretch too long, and days that begin with fatigue instead of energy. But here's what I want you to know right from the start. This isn't just about getting older. Your body still remembers how to rest deeply and peacefully. It just needs the right signals, the right preparation, and a little gentle guidance to remember what it once knew so well. I'm here to share with you a simple, natural approach to preparing both your body and mind for the kind of sleep that leaves you feeling restored, alert, and genuinely rested. This isn't about complicated routines or expensive gadgets. This is about working with your body's natural wisdom, creating an evening ritual that calms your nervous system and invites the deep, healing sleep you deserve. Main content begins. Let me start by asking you something. When was the last time you woke up feeling truly refreshed? Not just rested, but genuinely renewed, as if your body and mind had been gently restored overnight. For many of us, that feeling has become a distant memory, replaced by mornings that feel like we're dragging ourselves through thick fog. There's a reason for this, and it's not just about age. Our modern world has created a perfect storm of sleep disruption, and seniors often bear the brunt of it. Your nervous system, which has served you faithfully for decades, is now dealing with layers of stimulation that didn't exist when you were younger. The constant hum of electronics, the blue light from screens, the rush of information and worry that follows us right into the bedroom, all of this creates a state of subtle but persistent alertness that makes deep sleep nearly impossible. Think about it this way. Your mind is like a pot of water that's been simmering all day. Even when you turn off the heat at bedtime, that water doesn't instantly become cool and still. It needs time to settle, to release the heat it's been holding, to find its natural state of calm. This is exactly what happens with your nervous system. Just because you're physically tired doesn't mean your mind has received the signal that it's safe to truly let go. Many seniors tell me they feel betrayed by their own bodies. I'm exhausted, they say, so why won't I just fall asleep? The answer lies in understanding that there's a difference between being tired and being prepared for sleep. Being tired is about your body's energy being depleted. Being prepared for sleep is about your entire system, body, mind, and nervous system, shifting into a state of receptive rest. Your brain, particularly as you age, needs clear, consistent signals that the day is ending and night is beginning. Without these signals, it remains in a state of low-grade vigilance, ready to respond to the next demand, the next worry, the next stimulus. This is why you might find yourself lying in bed thinking about conversations from 20 years ago, or planning tomorrow's grocery list, or worrying about things completely outside your control. The beautiful truth is that your body wants to sleep well. Every cell in your system is designed to benefit from deep restorative rest. Your muscles want to release their tension. Your mind wants to process and file away the day's experiences. Your heart wants to slow to its gentlest rhythm. But in our overstimulated world, we've forgotten how to create the conditions that allow this natural process to unfold. This is where the magic of an evening ritual comes in. Not a rigid routine that feels like another chore, but a gentle, consistent way of telling your entire system that it's time to shift gears, to move from the energy of doing into the peace of being. Let's talk about light first, because this might be the most important factor you're not considering. Your brain produces a hormone called melatonin, which is essentially your body's natural sleeping pill. But melatonin production is incredibly sensitive to light. Even small amounts of bright light in the evening can suppress its release, leaving you alert when you want to be drowsy. I want you to think about how our ancestors lived. As the sun set, their world gradually became darker. Candlelight and firelight provided gentle, warm illumination that didn't interfere with their body's natural preparation for sleep. Compare that to your typical evening now. Bright overhead lights, the blue glow of television screens, the harsh light from phones and tablets. Your brain receives all of this as signals that it's still daytime, that you need to remain alert and ready for action. Starting about 2 hours before your intended bedtime, begin dimming the lights in your home. Use lamps instead of overhead fixtures. If you must use electronic devices, consider amber-tinted glasses that filter blue light, or better yet, set devices aside entirely. Your brain will begin to recognize this dimming as a cue to start producing melatonin naturally. But light is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about the physical environment of your bedroom. Temperature plays a crucial role in sleep quality, and many seniors keep their bedrooms too warm. Your body temperature naturally drops as you prepare for sleep, and a cooler room, somewhere between 65 and 68 degrees, supports this natural process. If you tend to feel cold, use layers of bedding that you can adjust rather than heating the entire room. Sound is another often overlooked factor. Complete silence can actually be disturbing for some people, while others are kept awake by the smallest noise. Gentle, consistent sounds like a fan, a white noise machine, or even soft nature sounds can create an acoustic blanket that masks disruptive noises and provides a consistent auditory cue for sleep. Now, let's explore the power of breath, because this is where you can begin to directly influence your nervous system. Your breathing is the bridge between your conscious and unconscious mind, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have for shifting from alertness to calm. Throughout the day, especially when we're stressed or busy, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid. This sends signals to our brain that we're in a state of urgency or mild stress. Even when we're not consciously aware of it, this breathing pattern keeps our nervous system in a state of subtle activation. But you can change this. About 30 minutes before bed, find a comfortable place to sit or lie down. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Begin to breathe in a way that moves the hand on your belly more than the hand on your chest. This activates your diaphragm and stimulates your vagus nerve, which is like a direct line to your body's relaxation response. Here's a simple breathing pattern that I've seen transform sleep for countless people. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, then breathe out slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. The longer exhale is key. It signals your nervous system to shift into rest mode. Repeat this pattern for 5 to 10 minutes and notice how your entire body begins to soften and release. As you're breathing, allow your attention to move through your body. Start at the top of your head and slowly scan down, noticing any areas of tension or tightness. You don't need to force anything to relax. Simply bringing awareness to tension often allows it to naturally release. This body scan combined with slow, deep breathing creates a powerful signal to your nervous system that it's safe to let go. Many seniors find that their minds become most active just as they're trying to fall asleep. Thoughts race, worries surface, and the very act of trying to sleep can become frustrating and counterproductive. This is where having a mental ritual becomes invaluable. Instead of fighting against your thoughts, give your mind something gentle and pleasant to focus on. Some people visualize a peaceful place, perhaps a garden they loved, a beach from a memorable vacation, or simply a cozy room filled with soft light. Others find it helpful to mentally review the day's small blessings, the moments of beauty or kindness they witnessed or experienced. Here's a technique that many of my viewers have found particularly effective. As you lie in bed, imagine that with each exhale, you're releasing the day's tensions, worries, and mental chatter into the darkness around you. With each inhale, imagine breathing in peace, calm, and the promise of restorative sleep. This gives your mind a job to do, a gentle, repetitive focus that naturally leads towards sleep rather than away from it. Tell me in the comments what part of the night feels hardest for you. Is it the initial falling asleep Or do you find yourself waking in the middle of the night with a racing mind? Now, let's talk about what you consume in the hours before sleep, because this has a direct impact on your sleep quality. Your digestive system needs time to process food, and eating heavy meals close to bedtime can keep your body working when it should be resting. When your stomach is busy digesting a large dinner, blood flow is directed toward your digestive organs rather than toward the processes that support deep sleep and restoration. I often hear from seniors who say they sleep better when they eat dinner earlier, and there's real science behind this. Your body temperature naturally drops as bedtime approaches, which is one of the signals that tells your brain it's time to sleep. But when you're digesting food, your internal temperature stays elevated, working against this natural cooling process. Try to finish eating at least 3 hours before bed, and if you must have something later, choose something light and easy to digest. A small piece of whole grain toast with a thin spread of almond butter or a handful of nuts, or even a small banana can satisfy late evening hunger without overwhelming your digestive system. But there are certain foods and drinks that can actually support better sleep, and understanding these can transform your evening routine. Foods containing tryptophan, like turkey, milk, or bananas, promote the production of serotonin, which your body then converts to melatonin. This is why your grandmother might have offered you warm milk before bed. She was tapping into an ancient wisdom about how certain foods support natural sleep. Tart cherry juice is one of nature's most concentrated sources of natural melatonin. Studies have shown that drinking a small glass of tart cherry juice in the evening can improve both sleep quality and duration. The key is consistency. Benefits build over time with regular use, not just from drinking it once. Complex carbohydrates consumed earlier in the evening can also support better sleep. Sweet potatoes, oats, or brown rice help stabilize blood sugar throughout the night, preventing those middle-of-the-night awakenings that sometimes occur when blood sugar drops too low. Herbal teas can be particularly powerful allies in your evening ritual, and the beauty of tea extends far beyond just the herbs themselves. The very act of preparing tea, boiling water, steeping the herbs, holding a warm cup in your hands, creates a soothing ritual that signals to your body that the day is winding down. This ritualistic aspect is just as important as the herbs themselves. Chamomile tea has been used for centuries to promote calm and relaxation. The compounds in chamomile actually bind to the same receptors in your brain that anti-anxiety medications target, but in a much gentler, more natural way. Many of my viewers tell me that their nightly cup of chamomile has become a treasured part of their evening routine. Passion flower tea is another gentle option that can help quiet an overactive mind. If you find yourself lying in bed with thoughts racing, passion flower can help slow down that mental chatter. Lemon balm tea has a mild sedative effect and can be particularly helpful if stress or worry tends to keep you awake. And valerian root tea, while having a stronger taste that not everyone enjoys, can be quite effective for those who have trouble falling asleep initially. The key with herbal teas is finding what works for your individual system and taste preferences. Start with chamomile, as it's the mildest and most universally tolerated, then experiment with others if you feel called to do so. However, be mindful of timing with any liquids. You want to stay hydrated, but drinking too much too close to bedtime can lead to those frustrating nighttime awakenings for bathroom trips. Try to have your evening tea about an hour before you plan to sleep, giving your body time to process the liquid while still benefiting from the calming properties of the herbs. Some seniors worry about becoming dependent on herbal teas for sleep, but this is different from dependency on sleep medications. These herbs are supporting your body's natural processes rather than overriding them. They're working with your system, not against it, and most people find they can use them regularly without building tolerance or experiencing withdrawal. What you want to avoid in the evening is just as important as what you include. Caffeine, obviously, but also be aware that caffeine can stay in your system much longer than you might realize, up to 8 hours for some people. That afternoon cup of coffee might still be affecting your sleep at bedtime. Alcohol might make you feel drowsy initially, but it disrupts your sleep cycles later in the night, leading to more fragmented, less restorative sleep. Electronic devices deserve special mention here because they're often the biggest obstacle to good sleep preparation, and this is particularly challenging for seniors who may have grown up in a different technological era. The blue light emitted by phones, tablets, televisions, and computers is problematic because it directly suppresses melatonin production, but the mental stimulation these devices provide is equally disruptive. Think about what happens when you scroll through social media or watch the news before bed. Your brain is processing new information, responding to emotional triggers, and staying in an active analytical mode. You might see something that makes you angry, worried, or excited, and suddenly your nervous system is activated rather than calming down. Even seemingly innocent activities like checking email or playing games on your phone keep your brain engaged and alert. The glow from these screens tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Your ancestors' brains evolved to respond to the setting sun as a signal to begin preparing for sleep. But when you're looking at a bright screen at 9 or 10 at night, you're essentially telling your brain that the sun is still up and it's time to be alert and active. Many seniors tell me they use their phones or tablets to wind down in bed, but this is actually having the opposite effect. Even if you feel relaxed while scrolling, your brain is still processing visual information and receiving light signals that interfere with sleep preparation. I encourage you to create what I call a digital sunset in your home. Choose a time, perhaps an hour or two before bed, when you turn off all screens and engage in more calming activities. This might feel challenging at first, especially if checking your phone or watching television has become a habitual part of your evening routine. But most people find that after a week or two, they actually prefer their device-free evenings. Instead of screens, try reading a physical book under soft lamplight. The act of reading can be naturally sleep-inducing, especially if you choose something pleasant but not overly exciting. Many people find that they naturally become drowsy while reading in dim light, which is your body's way of telling you it's ready for sleep. Listen to gentle music, perhaps classical pieces or nature sounds that create a peaceful atmosphere. Some people enjoy audiobooks with calm narrators, though it's best to choose familiar stories rather than exciting new plots that might keep your mind engaged. Practice gentle stretches or simple movements that feel good to your body. Nothing vigorous that would energize you, but gentle neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, or simple seated stretches that help release physical tension from the day. You might also use this time for journaling, writing down thoughts or concerns that might otherwise keep your mind busy when you're trying to sleep. Keep a small notebook by your bed and spend a few minutes writing down anything that's on your mind. This practice of parking your thoughts on paper can be incredibly effective for quieting mental chatter. Some people find that doing a simple puzzle, like a crossword or jigsaw puzzle, under soft light can be pleasantly focusing without being overstimulating. The key is finding activities that engage your mind just enough to prevent worried thoughts from taking over, but not so much that they energize or excite you. Tap like if you've ever struggled to fall asleep even when tired, and let me know in the comments if you're ready to try creating your own digital sunset. Let's put this all together into a simple, 3-step evening ritual that you can adapt to your own needs and preferences. Think of this as a gentle transition ceremony that you perform for yourself each night, a way of honoring your need for rest and preparing your entire system for sleep. Step 1 is creating your sleep sanctuary. About 2 hours before bedtime, begin preparing your environment. Dim the lights throughout your home. Set the temperature in your bedroom to a comfortable, slightly cool setting. If you enjoy gentle scents, consider lavender essential oil on your pillow or a diffuser with calming aromatics. Prepare your bedroom as you would prepare a sacred space with intention and care. Step 2 is the body preparation. This is where you engage in activities that help your physical body release the day's tension and prepare for rest. Take a warm bath or shower. The rise and fall of your body temperature can promote sleepiness, Practice gentle stretches or simple yoga poses that feel good to your body. Engage in your breathing practice, allowing your nervous system to shift into rest mode. Step 3 is the mind preparation. This is where you give your mind permission to let go of the day's concerns and focus on peaceful, restful thoughts. Practice your body scan, allowing awareness to move through your body and release any areas of tension. Engage in gratitude practice, mentally acknowledging the day's blessings. Visualize peaceful imagery, or engage in gentle prayer or meditation, whatever feels most natural and comforting to you. The key to making this ritual effective is consistency. Your body and mind learn through repetition. When you perform the same calming activities in the same order at roughly the same time each night, you're creating powerful associations that trigger your body's natural sleep responses. It's like training a beloved pet with patience, consistency, and gentleness. Your nervous system learns to respond to these cues by naturally shifting into sleep mode. Don't expect immediate perfection. Some nights will be easier than others, and that's completely normal. The goal isn't to force sleep, but to create the optimal conditions for sleep to occur naturally. Be patient with yourself as you develop this new habit, and remember that even small improvements in sleep quality can make a significant difference in how you feel during the day. I also want to address something that many seniors worry about but rarely discuss openly. Those middle-of-the-night awakenings that seem to become more common with age and the anxiety that often accompanies them. If you're like many people, you might wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and immediately start worrying about the fact that you're awake. Your mind might jump to concerns about your health, about not getting enough sleep, or about how tired you'll be tomorrow. This worry about being awake actually makes it much harder to fall back asleep. Your brain interprets your anxiety as a signal that there's something to be alert about, something that requires your attention and vigilance. Before you know it, you're caught in a cycle where being awake makes you anxious, and being anxious keeps you awake. Here's what I want you to know. Brief awakenings during the night are completely normal, especially as we age. Your sleep cycles naturally change over time, and lighter sleep periods are a normal part of the aging process. The problem isn't the awakening itself, it's how we respond to it. If you do wake up during the night, your first instinct might be to check the time, but I encourage you to resist this urge. Looking at a bright clock face can signal your brain that it's time to be alert, and knowing the exact time often triggers anxiety about how much sleep you're losing. Instead, keep your room dark and practice the same gentle breathing techniques you used before bed. Often these awakenings are brief, and your body will naturally return to sleep if you don't fully activate your nervous system. Think of yourself as being in a state of quiet rest rather than being problematically awake. Even if you're not deeply asleep, your body is still healing and restoring itself when you're lying quietly and peacefully. If your mind starts racing during these nighttime awakenings, return to your peaceful visualizations or gratitude practice. Some people find it helpful to have a few go-to mental images ready, perhaps a peaceful garden, a cozy fireplace, or a calm lake at sunset. Having these images prepared means you don't have to think about what to visualize. You can simply return to a familiar, calming mental picture. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, you might find yourself fully awake in the middle of the night. When this happens, it's important not to lie in bed feeling frustrated or anxious. If you've been awake for more than 20 or 30 minutes and don't feel sleep returning, it can be helpful to get up quietly and engage in a very gentle, non-stimulating activity until you feel sleepy again. Read a few pages of a calming book under soft light, perhaps something you've read before, or poetry that doesn't require intense focus. Practice gentle stretches or simple yoga poses that feel good to your body. Sit quietly in a comfortable chair and simply breathe, allowing your mind to wander peacefully without trying to control or direct your thoughts. The key during these nighttime awakenings is to avoid anything that will fully wake up your system. No bright lights, no engaging activities, no checking phones or watching television, and certainly no getting involved in household tasks or problem solving. Think of this time as an extension of your sleep period, a quiet, restful interlude rather than the beginning of your day. Many people find that having a specific plan for middle-of-the-night awakenings actually helps them sleep better overall. When you know what you'll do if you wake up, you're less likely to feel anxious about the possibility of awakening. You have a gentle, peaceful response ready rather than lying there feeling frustrated or worried. Remember that good sleep is not a luxury. It's a necessity for your physical health, mental clarity, and emotional well-being. During sleep, your body repairs tissues, consolidates memories, and clears waste products from your brain. Your immune system strengthens, your hormones rebalance, and your entire system rejuvenates itself for the next day. Quality sleep also directly impacts your cognitive function, your mood stability, and your ability to enjoy life fully. When you sleep well, you wake up with better focus, more patience, greater resilience to stress, and a more optimistic outlook on life. You're literally investing in your quality of life when you prioritize good sleep preparation. I want you to think of sleep not as something that happens to you, but as something you actively participate in creating. You have more control over your sleep quality than you might realize, and the simple practices I've shared with you today can make a profound difference in how you feel both at night and during the day. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Your body is incredibly wise, and it has been taking care of you faithfully for decades. It has healed countless cuts and bruises, fought off infections you may never have known you had, maintained your heartbeat through every emotion and experience, and yes, provided you with millions of hours of restorative sleep throughout your lifetime. Sometimes, especially in our modern world with all its stimulation and demands, your body just needs a little support, a few gentle signals, and the right conditions to do what it naturally knows how to do. The practices I've shared with you today aren't complicated medical interventions or expensive treatments. They're simple ways of working with your body's natural wisdom rather than against it. Your sleep challenges are not a character flaw or a sign of weakness. They're often the result of living in a world that doesn't naturally support the kind of gentle transition from day to night that your nervous system craves. But you have more power over this than you might realize. Every small change you make, every gentle practice you add to your evening routine is an act of self-care and self-respect. Tonight, I encourage you to try even one element of what we've discussed. Maybe it's dimming your lights an hour earlier than usual, or practicing the 4-4-6 breathing pattern for just 5 minutes before bed. Perhaps it's preparing your first cup of chamomile tea, or simply taking a few moments to scan through your body and release any tension you're holding. Don't feel like you need to implement everything at once. Change happens gradually, and your body responds best to gentle, consistent adjustments rather than dramatic overnight transformations. Choose 1 or 2 practices that feel most appealing or doable for you, and give yourself time to establish these as natural parts of your evening routine. Notice how your body responds to these changes. Some improvements might be immediate. You might feel more relaxed or fall asleep more easily after just one night of trying a new approach. Other benefits build over time as your nervous system learns to recognize and respond to your new evening cues. Be patient and kind with yourself as you develop these new habits. Some nights will be easier than others, and that's completely normal and expected. The goal isn't to achieve perfect sleep every single night. It's to create conditions that support your body's natural tendency toward rest and restoration. Remember that good sleep is not a luxury that only some people deserve. It's a fundamental need that supports every aspect of your health and well-being. When you prioritize sleep preparation, you're investing in your physical health, your mental clarity, your emotional stability, and your ability to fully enjoy and engage with life. Quality sleep affects everything from your immune system strength to your memory consolidation, from your mood stability to your physical balance and coordination. The time and energy you put into creating better sleep habits pays dividends in how you feel and function during your waking hours. Subscribe for more natural health wisdom made especially for you, because you deserve to wake up feeling refreshed, restored, and ready to embrace each new day with energy and joy. Your questions and comments help me understand what's most helpful for you, so please share your experiences and let me know which practices resonate most strongly. Your best sleep is not behind you. It's waiting for you tonight, tomorrow night, and all the nights to come. Your body remembers how to rest deeply and peacefully. Sometimes it just needs a gentle reminder, the right conditions, and your loving attention to what it truly needs. Sleep well, my friend. You've earned it, you deserve it, and with these gentle practices, you can reclaim the restorative sleep that supports your healthiest, happiest life.